Biggest thing we need to watch is whether that the BOJ's risk assessment on the Japanese inflation trend has changed or not. So basically in the last 6 months, Governor Ueda has repeated that they were not very convinced by the sustainable inflation trend in Japan. So he says that, yes, wage growth was higher, but so it hasn't really transferred to the higher inflation. And this is very important because for sustainable inflation, we need to have the positive feedback loop between wages and prices. Higher wages raise prices, and higher prices then raise wages, and so on and so on. So we see that the wage is higher. But then next step is price should respond to the higher wage, and which will be responded by the wage growth next year. Okay. So that's something still we need to wait and see.
All right. So Rengo, we've talked about this before. The Japanese Confederation umbrella trade union is asking for plus 5% or a little bit more than that. Is that going to be enough?
So this is a big tough call because when we see that, and BOJ sees that the so-called base wage growth, which is actually only 3% and above, that was is a target set by the Rengo, and this is nearly equivalent to the current inflation rate. So which means that the real wage growth is still zero. But still, this is at the same time compared with the last 30 years. This wage growth is a very good numbers. In this year to March 2023, that they negotiated wage growth for the base salary was 2.1%. This was the highest in the last 30 years.
Wow.
So this is still strong numbers. So it's showing that the Japanese economy is changing. But whether this is enough or not, that might be a different question.
Wow. Okay. If it is enough, though, do you think the BOJ could move in December?
That is a very, very difficult, I think, because as I just said that, BOJ want to see that the wages and the prices goes up in tandem. So now the wage growth is higher. So yes, I just said the highest in the 30 years. But then the price increases is not good enough from the BOJ's viewpoint, because the service prices, which should be more responsive against the wage growth, is still not very high. And the BOJ's Deputy Governor Uchida recently made a speech that he clearly said that he was not convinced that this service price inflation is not because of the wage growth.
Okay, got it. So December may be a little bit early. And we were talking offline earlier this morning. You think more likely is March or even April next year? So it's still another 4 or 5 months away.
Yes, that's still, and we need to wait because one next big data point for the BOJ would be that the 2024 Shunto wage negotiation round, which basically determines the big trend of the wage growth in 2024, and this will be released in the mid-March. And then the BOJ have 1 month to assess what is happening in the Japanese inflation, and then in the April meeting, we expect that the BOJ will make bigger policy decisions.
Okay.